On May 24th, 2020, my mother passed away from cancer. 4 years prior to her death, on July 29th, 2016, my grandmother, the woman who had the biggest part in raising me, passed away from ALS. So now, at a relatively young age, I have lost both of the major maternal figures in my life. And I don't say any of this to you to get pity or even extra compassion. I say this to you to qualify myself as someone who deeply understands the space that is left behind when a mother is gone. Today, the day that I'm posting this, is July 24th, 2020. And if my mom had not passed away 2 months ago, she would be turning 61 years old today. I wasn't planning on making a video like this. It wasn't really something that I even wanted to do, but for whatever reason, probably nudges from those maternal forces that are always with us, I was called to make this video and publish it in honor of my mom and for all those people who are grieving their mothers on my mom's birthday. So before I get into what you may need to hear as you're grieving the loss of your mom or maternal figure in whatever way you may be going through that right now, I just want to say, just to kind of qualify myself a little bit more, that my relationship with my mother was extra complicated. As I said, I was raised mostly by my maternal grandmother, so her mother, and my mom struggled so deeply with her own emotional wounding that she left me, honestly, long before she actually died. So what I realized in her physical death on May 24th, 2020, was that I had been holding on to so much unfaced grief long before she died. And her physical death brought a lot of that up for me, and now I'm able to share a little bit about what I've learned from the complicatedness, is that a word? The complicatedness of going through this grief over losing our mothers. We, the motherless, often feel very strange. We feel like we are different from other people, that we're more alone from other people, that we're separate. And sometimes we can experience these feelings when we have a mother who's physically living but is absent from us. And then for others, these feelings come in once our mother has passed, and suddenly we feel a little bit like a sad unicorn that is misplaced in the world now that our mother is gone. I've experienced this on both sides, the side of having a mother physically alive but is totally absent from you, and also on the side of she's physically gone, dead. So what I'm going to say in this video is going to honor the full spectrum of what it's like to be motherless, but it will be especially tailored to people whose mother is physically deceased. So the first thing I'm going to tell you on this topic, and for so many of you, you already know this, and that is there's absolutely nothing anyone can say or do to take your pain away and make you feel better. And I say that as that includes yourself. You yourself also can't say anything to yourself. You can't bargain, you can't justify, you can't overanalyze your way out of your feelings around what's going on with you about your mother's death. And sometimes we can feel really resentful, especially towards other people, as if there should be something that they can say to us that will make us feel better, or that I should know something to say to myself to make me feel better. Why can't I be comforted? Why can't this pain, this burden of this hole in me, why can't it be taken away? And that anger is justified, but I've often found, especially in my own feelings with that particular kind of anger and resentment, that it's often a little bit of an escape, to try to escape facing the real pain that we're left with when our mother is gone. So I also say all of this not to scare you or to depress you even more, that there's nothing anyone can say to make you feel better. I say all this in order to make a very important point. Your pain and how your pain has changed you will never be taken away. It can't be taken away, and it's not meant to be taken away. Your pain is now a place, a new place, where you can actually be empowered in a way that you might have never realized before. So no one, including yourself, can take away your pain, but you can be empowered through your pain. So I know, depending on where you are in your grief journey, if you're feeling extra angry, you're still just really in that anger over this death or this loss, hearing that from me is probably pissing you off. And I totally welcome that. That is totally fine. Because you think, I don't want to be changed. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be empowered by this new pain. I just want my life to be the way it was. I want to be happy. I want my mother physically here with me and to do the things for me that a mother should do. I don't want to suffer and try to figure out a new way of living without her. That is a 100% totally valid way to feel. And I actually encourage you to embrace that very feeling and that anger in a way that gives you energy. That's what I mean by being empowered by your pain. The thing about our feelings and our emotions and our pain is that it's not the feelings themselves that hurt us. It's the judging of the feeling that hurts us. It's the telling ourselves, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I can't believe I'm still so unhappy. I can't believe no one is taking care of this for me. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself that is just trying to make you negate the way you're feeling, telling yourself somehow it's wrong, telling yourself that somehow you or somebody else should be able to take care of it or erase it. That is what causes you suffering, not the pain or the feeling or the emotion itself. When you can lean into your pain a little bit, and again, I know it's hard when you really don't want to and you're so attached to the stories around your pain, but when you can lean into just the feelings of the pain, that's when you can tap into this energy. And this energy is what is going to actually connect you and can even raise your life into a new level. And again, I can feel some of you watching this through your screen and being like, oh, this is so hokey. She's trying to convince me out of my grief or out of my suffering. And that's, again, absolutely not what I'm trying to do. I say all this because I have, through my own vast experience, not just with the pain around my mother and my grandmother's death, but through many different pain points in my life, I have discovered that it's through those pain points, when I touch them and interact with them in a positive way or a way that is validating to myself, when I do that with my raw emotional pain points, that's when I'm catapulted into a new level of success, a new level of experience that I didn't even know was possible, all because I let go of whatever narrative was negating my feelings, telling me I was wrong to feel them, or telling me that I should be feeling a different way. All of that just gone, and just me interacting with the real feelings. That's what brought me to a new level. And surprisingly, my suffering was so much less. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned that often when we are motherless, we feel alone, we feel more separate, we feel more isolated because we no longer have our mother. We feel all of those things that tend to make us feel more estranged from society or from life. And the big thing that I have found through the loss of my grandmother and my mom is that it's through those feelings that actually I am connected to the rest of the world. The place that you feel emptiness, because it's where maybe whatever your mother represented used to be, that place is now open. And when love flows to that space, it no longer has that thing to go to anymore, that representation of our physical mother being here with us. But it's flowing. There's still an energy flowing there. There's still love that's flowing there. And now that my mother is gone and my grandmother is gone, I can channel that energy of love to everyone else in the world who has been through what I've been through. I am connected to you and to everyone else in this world that has suffered the loss of their mother. And when you think about that, that's a lot of people. It's so funny to me in some ways that we often feel really alone and estranged and more isolated when we lose our mother, when it's such a common experience if you think about it. Like, most of us will at some point in our lives lose our mother unless we're unfortunate or unlucky enough to pass away before our parents do. So when I allow myself to really sink into this acknowledgement and acceptance that I am so deeply connected to the rest of the world around me through the loss of my mother, I feel empowered. And again, it's not enough to take away the feelings that I have. And like I said, like, that's not the point, to take away your feelings or to change them or to numb them. It's that I don't feel that false narrative of aloneness anymore. So if you're feeling really alone around the loss of your mother, know that you are not. And the more that you can try to connect with others from that same pain point, and you can share your authentic feelings and pain, and you can spread that with someone else who has their own authentic feelings and pain, there's this magical alchemy that happens where that pain is turned into something else. Once we experience loss, we are forever changed. We can never go back to the way we were pre-loss. But just because we're forever changed, that doesn't mean that we can't change again. That doesn't mean that we just change once by the loss and then we're just forever stuck in like this painful loss thing. If we give our pain away and our feelings of loss away, we allow life to naturally work them like water kind of works over a rock, and it changes it and it smooths it out, and it just becomes something different and something bigger than just me or just you. The last thing I'll say, and this is to people who are in that stage of like really hardcore suffering. They're just really not able to feel themselves in their lives anymore. They're just not able to feel just happy in their own skin anymore since the loss of their mother. And that is, think of your mother's best self. Think of her standing in front of you, smiling and beaming at you. Think of her being there with you, and think of how she would want you to be living your life right now. If your mother was standing next to you, beaming at you, but she was watching you kind of wallow in self-pity, being really hard on yourself and mean to yourself because she's no longer there, do you think that would make her feel good? Do you think that would make her feel happy and proud of the time that you two shared together? There is no part of your mother that wants to see you suffer. Even the mothers that were relatively not great in their living life, and I'm speaking from experience here, all mothers want their children to do really well and to live a full life with or without their presence. So do you really think that your mother is somehow feeling good about the way that you're unable to move forward in your life right now? Do you think she likes that you are drowning in self-pity and can't seem to do anything in your life anymore and you just can't get out of your own head? Your mother absolutely does not want that for you. So if you need a little bit of help getting out of the story suffering narrative that is causing you a lot of pain day in and day out, just think of how you could live in a way that honors your mother and honors your pain, but doesn't limit you to live a life that your mother would never want to see you living. Your mother wants to see you thriving in her absence. That's what all mothers want, especially yours. The last thing I'll say is kind of cliche, and it's one of those things that, again, a lot of people say to us and can sometimes trigger us into that resentment and anger, and that is that your mother is still so very much with you. And I don't say this to make you feel better or to placate you at all. I say it because I've learned it's 100% true. Whether or not you believe in the afterlife or if you believe in spirituality in whatever way, our mothers stay with us in our minds and bodies. Everything that we've experienced with them, everything they've taught us, all of the good memories, even like the bad ones that we can maybe transform into something else, but all of that is still with you, and it's still a magical part of who you are. So if you've lost your mother, please know that you are so not alone. I'm here with you. Countless millions of others on this planet are with you. And together we can do so much healing and, again, empowerment work to not make us feel better, but to help us be better humans and eventually transform into something that we never knew that we could be. I see you in whatever you are feeling right now, and just know that you are not alone. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Genevieve, and please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me in the future.